This morning, the Justice Department is announcing a major escalation in tensions with Cuba, charging former Cuban leader Raul Castro with murder and conspiracy. That's our top story today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Vanessa Broussard. Raul Castro's charges stem from the 1996 shoot down of two civilian planes flown by the Miami based exile group Brothers to the Rescue. Federal prosecutors say Castro, who was serving as Cuba's defense minister at the time, authorized deadly military action that resulted in the deaths of four people, including U.S. citizens. The incident happened nearly 30 years ago when Cuba fighter jets shot down two unarmed planes over waters the U.S. says were international airspace. Cuba has long claimed the aircraft violated Cuban territory. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche making the announcement with a long round of applause from the audience.
Today, we are announcing an indictment charging Raul Castro and several others with conspiracy to kill U.S. nationals. Mr. Castro and the others are charged with additional crimes as well, including destruction of aircraft and 4 individual counts of murder.
President Trump reacting, saying the indictments is a major step toward accountability.
We have Cuba on our mind. Very important. Been a lot of problem for a lot of years, and this was I think it was a very big moment for people that, not only Cuban Americans, but people that came from Cuba that want to go back to Cuba, people that want to see their family in Cuba. I think this is a very big day, very important day.
Castro is now 94 years old. He remains in Cuba. We will keep you posted on this developing story. Also breaking this morning, a former managing assistant U.S. attorney has been charged with stealing confidential investigation documents. Carmen Lineberger, who supported Jack Smith's investigation into President Trump, allegedly emailed confidential material to her own personal email. Prosecutors say she disguised the emails as dessert recipes to conceal them from record searches. Lineberger is charged with 4 felony counts. Now to news from the Pentagon. U.S. forces are continuing to fully enforce the blockade. Marines boarded an Iranian-flagged commercial oil tanker suspected of attempting to violate the blockade. American forces searched the vessel and directed the ship's crew to an alternate course. Our military has now redirected 91 commercial ships to ensure compliance in the Strait of Hormuz. Busted. 64 illegal migrants have been stopped in what's called a massive smuggling attempt. This is in the Puerto Rican waters. Authorities say there were 58 illegal immigrants from the Dominican Republic and 6 from Haiti. Authorities say they plan to cross the Caribbean and then into U.S. waters. To Washington, D.C. now, the House of Representatives have passed a Trump-backed bill that would restrict corporate companies buying single-family homes. The bill would restrict major investors from dominating the housing market, protect opportunities for hardworking Americans to buy homes, and still allow new housing construction to move forward. The bill now heads to the Senate, where lawmakers remain divided on how far restrictions or investor-owned housing should go. Now to chemical warfare right here in America in the form of pills, abortion pills. Today we have Reverend Jim Harden with us. Good to see you, Reverend. Jim, it's a staggering number. 10,000 unborn lives per month are being killed through mail order abortion pills. It's pretty disturbing. What can you tell us?
It's very disturbing. In fact, it is currently, according to federal law and many state laws, illegal, and yet it's still happening. And I say that not because it's my opinion, but it's because it's the opinion of at least two Supreme Court justices, Justice Alito and Justice Thomas. There's a Supreme Court case, several Supreme Court cases, one in particular where the pharmaceutical companies, Danco Laboratories and Gen Biopro, the ones responsible for making these drugs, and bringing them into the U.S., requested a stay from a ruling from the Fifth Circuit 2 weeks ago, I believe, saying, "Look, we want to continue to ship these drugs into these pro-life states." And Justice Thomas said, "Look, this is a criminal enterprise." Justice Alito said, "This is a scheme to undermine the Constitution, and particularly the Dobbs decision." The Dobbs decision, of course, as overturned Roe versus Wade, which made abortion legal throughout the United States. But chemical abortion and the pro-abortion politicians in New York, places like New York, like Kathy Hochul, Governor Hochul, they're essentially undermining state sovereignty by illegally shipping these drugs across state lines into places like Louisiana, and then shielding their doctors from any criminal liability. And it is criminal. It's a violation of the Federal Comstock Act, and it's a violation of certain laws in certain states like Texas and Louisiana. Meanwhile, they're harming women to the tune of 1 out of 10. Every 1 out of 10 women who start the chemical abortion process end up with sepsis, hemorrhaging, or death in the emergency room. Okay, and so the FDA is supposedly reviewing the safety of this drug because they didn't do their due diligence back during the Biden administration in 2023 when they allowed these drugs to be shipped illegally in the mail to women at their homes. So there's so much going on here. Marty McCary said that he used to be the head of the FDA. This ruling came out of the Supreme Court, I think, 2 days ago. Marty McCary was fired by RFK Jr. 3 days ago because this is all blowing up right now. And the question is, why is the Supreme Court allowing the pharmaceutical companies to continue their criminal enterprise? That's the big question.
Absolutely. And, are you saying too that these doctors are doctors shipping these pills across state lines as well?
Oh, yes. Margaret Carpenter, for example, Dr. Margaret Carpenter in New York, and that's where I'm sitting, is illegally shipping these drugs specifically into Louisiana. And that's the case right now. The Supreme Court heard was Louisiana versus FDA. And they were saying, look, Louisiana as a state is being harmed because they can't enforce their own state laws. It's a violation of state sovereignty. But also, women in Louisiana are being harmed by these dangerous chemical abortion drug companies and these physicians, like Margaret Carpenter. She shipped these drugs to women in Louisiana. Women in Louisiana are taking these drugs. They're getting serious side effects, having to go to the emergency room, and then Medicaid through Louisiana has to pay for the results. So it's certainly harming their treasury. It's harming their state sovereignty. It's harming their citizenry. Certainly, it's harming the children that are being killed because of it. And New York State is essentially attempting to undermine not just Louisiana's pro-life laws, but the Constitution of the United States. But you know what? This is a conspiracy to circumvent federal law. And in any other circumstance, uh, you know, this wouldn't even be a case in court. They would be sending these people to jail. They would be fining these people all of their profits. One violation of the Comstock Act, shipping these drugs across state lines, carries a $250,000 fine and 5 years in jail. And there's a 5-year statute of limitations. And it is happening at least 70% of that, 700,000 chemical abortion instances are happening all across America every single year. You mentioned 10,000 a month. Well, they're shipping them across state lines in Louisiana to the tune of 1,000 a month. 1,000. That's just unheard of. Uh, they're thumbing their nose at the very fabric of our society, not just morally but also legally.
And Jim, this is a form of pharmaceutical trafficking. This is that they're going into what Could be called chemical warfare.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, when we say chemical warfare, we might say it. We might think it's tongue in cheek, but it's not. It really is harming women. There's a new study came out that demonstrated 1 in 10 women are sent to the emergency room. It really is harming children. It literally kills preborn boys and girls. What the drug does is it blocks the the hormone that a woman's body naturally produces to sustain a pregnancy, progesterone. And so and it's also, creating the conditions, the constitutional crisis that is similar to what happened in pre-Civil War days. This is dividing our country, and that seems to be what they're after.
Absolutely. Why do you think abortion pills are being treated differently than other controlled substances?
Well, that's a great question. Why, I think one of the reasons why is because it's a multi-billion-dollar international enterprise that engages in population control. There's it, we don't know who Danco Laboratories really is. Danco Laboratories was responsible for bringing this drug into the United States under the Clinton administration, and it was they circumvented the FDA's gold standard for determining safety and efficacy for the drug. They just didn't care. They just wanted to get it into the market. And it was initially brought in. The Danco Laboratories was initially brought in and funded by this organization called the Population Fund. I think so. You've got you know uh, dark money involved. You've got a lot of Cayman Island accounts. Josh Hawley, Senator Josh Hawley, has noticed that this Danco Laboratories is a shadowy organization, and no one knows who they are. No one knows who owns it. No one knows who the leadership is, and yet they're getting hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're getting favor from the FDA, the Biden administration, and now our peers, RFK Jr. I don't. No one really understands what's going on here, except for the fact that something nefarious. And our, a lot of people are concerned that the FDA is being told. By the way, Justice Alito said in his dissenting opinion that the FDA, someone in leadership of the FDA, has told them to stall or to slow walk the investigation into the dangers of this chemical abortion drug until after the midterm elections. This is sacrificing women and children on the altar of political power. It's just not right.
It's not right. Lives are on the line, including the unborn. Pro life advocates have been very vocal about this. I'm glad you're here today to talk about this and raise awareness as well. Unborn children are becoming casualties. It's a new civil war of sorts. And so, how do we stop this, Jim?
Well, we do what we're doing right now. You and I are talking. We try to talk to our senators, our representatives, let them know that this is not acceptable. Let them demand that the FDA do their job and put a moratorium on this dangerous drug. That's all they have to do. Put a moratorium on the drug until the safety reviews can be done, and then of course pull the drug off the market and and get the DOJ, acting U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche, should understand that the Comstock Act must be enforced. Okay, this is not an antiquated law. This is a law that was enacted back in the late 1800s, but also modified all the way up until the early 2000s. And there's a provision in there that says it's illegal to ship any materials or drugs across U.S. borders or state lines for the intent and express purpose of aborting a child. And it's happening all the time. Enforce the Comstock Act, and you will bankrupt the abortion industry instantly, and many of these people will end up going to jail, and they'll for racketeering, and not just the physicians, not just the pharmaceutical companies, but also some of these politicians like Kathy Hochul. I'm pretty sure they're going to see the inside of jail.
Yeah, they need to be held accountable for sure because they are violating the law and lives are being lost, mothers and children in this case. Pro life activists, Christians obviously are pro life. We hate to hear what's going on in the topic we just discussed, but there's a big change going on right now, Jim, in our country. And I don't know if it was after Charlie Kirk was murdered. Or what? But are you seeing what I'm seeing, a change in Christianity, a change in, topics like this, people really coming out, letting their voices be heard. There was just a pro-life march in DC recently. We're looking at video here of the rededication ceremony from this past Sunday, rededicating our country to God. I'm seeing more and more people become vocal in topics like what you just discussed pro-life and all aspects of Christianity. Are you seeing the same?
I am, and it's refreshing in many ways, and I hope it sticks around because
I
I
do
think
too.
people are beginning to wake up to the fact that for the last, well, since the 60s or maybe even before, there has been a concerted effort to de-Christianize America. And people are beginning to realize that the founding fathers of America were all Christians. In fact, the Constitution of the United States, according to John Adams, one of the founding fathers, is specifically designed for a moral and religious people and is wholly unfit for any other. We have to be able, in order to maintain our freedom, our First Amendment rights, our freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of association, we have to be able to self-discipline. And the only way to do that is if we're submitted to a higher authority, and that is God. And so a constitutional rule of law is based on a and can only survive in the context of a moral and religious people. And John Adams, when he said that, he did not mean bumper sticker coexist kind of religion. 99.9% of everybody in America at the time were Christians. So when he said moral and religious, he meant Christian and the morality derived from the core values that are espoused by Christianity. And one of those, obviously, is the truth that we're all made in the image of God and therefore equally valuable, infinitely valuable. And that's why when you see the Declaration of Independence that we're endowed by our Creator, capital C, with certain unalienable rights, the first of which is the right to life. That is the right upon which all other rights are predicated. And it's not the government's job to determine which persons qualify for protection under the law and which ones don't. That's the formula for tyranny. And so it's our job as individual citizens to be vigilant, to understand the purpose of government to protect all people equally and to make it really hard for bad people to do bad things. And it's our job also to stand up and exercise our rights, First Amendment rights, in the public square. Let your voice be heard. Behave in ways that are consistent with the principles of Christianity and Christ. And you'll see it manifested in places like pro-life ministries, pregnancy centers, sidewalk counselors, etc. And they want to force us, that is the secularists, the Marxists, want to force us out of the public square. That's why they're attacking Christians. Christians are starting to wake up to the fact that there is an ideological war going on in the upper echelons of society and bureaucracy. You see it in government, federal government, state government, blue states. You see it in the Southern Poverty Law Center debacle. There is a concerted effort to undermine the constitutional rule of law based on Judeo-Christian principles. And that's why these Marxists and secularists are attacking us. That's why they've been attacking the institutions and de-Christianizing them, including education and indoctrinating our children into these terrible ideologies.
Absolutely. They're starting young and younger, trying to brainwash our children at a young age, but it's up
Yeah.
to the parents to make sure that that does not happen when they head out into the real world. You have a book. I want to talk about your book for a minute. You can get those on Amazon. We have your Amazon link up right now. Endure Rising Christian Persecution. Tell us about your book and where people can find it.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I did write a book. I quite frankly didn't want to write this book because the story's not over yet. We've experienced death threats. We've experienced doxing. We've experienced firebombing of one of our offices by domestic terrorists. We've experienced weaponization of lawfare against us. Weaponized. Letitia James has sued us a couple times. We've had lawfare against us from or weaponized laws against us, specifically in New York City and New York State. And we've been debanked. All these things have happened to us, or just in the last 4 or 5 years. And I'm saying, look, this is a shot across the bow. The attacks on pro-life organizations and churches is a shot across the bow. And Christian people, I think, need to be aware that it's happening, but also have the tools to understand how to behave when persecution comes knocking on their door. The Bible says, Jesus said, that persecution is going to come our way. Those who desire to live godly in Christ Jesus will suffer persecution, the Apostle Paul said. And so this book I wrote is just to help Christian leaders bear up under the persecution and thrive while they're going through it without sacrificing their principles and backing down. There's this, scripture that Jesus was talking, and he talks about turning the other cheek. And people think that turning the other cheek is this, well, you just got to back down and put your tail between your legs and go away. That's not what that means. He said if somebody strikes you on your right cheek, and if you're being struck on your right cheek, when most people are right-handed, that means you're being backhanded. It's a slight, it's an insult. And so I talk about something like this in the book. Well, what do you do when you're insulted? Jesus said, give them your other cheek. Now, give me your best shot. But he says, don't use their tactics. Stand your ground. Don't use their tactics, and let them give you your best shot. Strike me on my other cheek. Give me your best shot now. And so this is what Christians need to do in an adverse, very anti-Christian, hostile environment. We need to stand our ground, but don't use their tactics. So things like this I'll talk about in the book in order to help Christians stand firm in a very hostile, very, very hostile environment.
And we have about 30 seconds left. I do want to mention your website as well, compasscarecommunity.com. Tell us a little bit about that in the few seconds we have left.
Yeah, if anybody wants to learn more about how they can help or learn about where helping women have their babies in America's abortion capital of New York, they can go to compasscarecommunity.com. There's all sorts of information on there. It's a library of content, press releases and books and all the rest to help you stand firm in a culture and educate your family and your friends and your coworkers about how to be pro-life.
Reverend Jim Harden, so good to have you on the show today. Thanks so much for stopping by.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yesterday, we brought you to the Trump Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., where a DOJ documentary is being shown on Christian persecution. Our Kara Castronova is there talking to guests.
Hey everybody, Kara Castronova with Lindell TV here with Tammy Fox from DHS, and we are at a movie screening for a documentary about the persecution of Christians made by the Trump administration, talking really about how the Biden administration was prejudiced against Christians.
Yes.
Tell us more about the movie.
Well, the movie is called Dawn's Early Light, and it's filmed through the DOJ, and we're so proud of the film. It's basically taken all the information that all the different departments came together. President Trump had an initiative. His initiative when he started office was to find the anti-Christian bias. Was there an anti-Christian bias? Yes. Over 700 documents have shown that there was a bias. And through the film, you're going to see families and what they've had to go through and had to endure during the Biden administration and how we've come back together, reminding Americans in the end that Christianity is the cornerstone of our country, family, faith, in our country.
And have you seen the movie yet?
Yes, I love it.
Could you give us a sneak peek on one of the worst things you saw in the movie when it comes to the way that Christians were being...
There was a family that literally their father was held at gunpoint in their own home and put in jail.
For what?
For his beliefs. His beliefs, and he would stand up and stand down to the fact that they would not allow him to say and speak his words and what he felt and what his faith was.
Who could we expect in the movie? I know that Mark Wayne Mullins, the cabinet, he's our new DHS secretary.
We're so proud to be able to serve under our Secretary Mullin. What an outstanding man, what an outstanding family man, a man of faith, a man that loves this country. And I feel so safe having him as our Secretary of DHS, but also the Secretary of Defense of DHS of our country. I'm really so proud to be able to serve with him.
Who else is in the movie that we could look for?
Kash Patel is in the movie. Pam Bondi's in the movie, which is an outstanding group of Americans and leaders of our country.
What is this administration sort of doing to rectify the wrongs that the Biden administration did?
Well, we started a task force. The task force is going to look into that and keep following and watching, and I think we're going to come up with great ideas. And number one, I think as families, as we come together and families watch this film as a country, we understand the importance of our forefathers, that Christianity and the beliefs of what we have as a cornerstone of our country. And I'm just so proud to be able to be a part of this in just a small little way. It means so much to me, and I'm really looking forward to the pebble that's thrown into the pond and the repercussions of this.
What is the name of the movie and where can people see it now?
It's At Dawn's Early Light is the film.
At Dawn's Early Light, like the national anthem?
Yes, and it's just a reminder of our forefathers and our beliefs. And what's going to happen is it's going to be shown throughout the country through different churches, synagogues, families. We're really so proud of it, and I'm really looking forward to everyone seeing it.
Thank you so much, Tammy Fox.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Christians are under assault, but now more than ever, Christians are being vocal, like we just discussed. We saw that this past weekend in Washington, D.C., when tens of thousands gathered to rededicate America back to God, and we hope it stays that way. Now let's check in on Mike Lindell's campaign as he eyes the governor's seat in Minnesota. A lot of you always asking question how Mike's doing. Well, the latest straw poll shows him as the winner. The last straw poll also showed Mike winning, so great news is coming out of Minnesota in his campaign. Mike has been targeted, as you know. He's still standing. He has personally, and so has his businesses. We showed you a small clip this week of Mike at his My Pillow factory in Minnesota. Here's more with Mike and Steve Bannon.
America's entrepreneur, Mike Lindell, is now live from his factory floor. Mike, do we have you, sir?
Yes, Steve. I was going to bring you out there, but I just wanted to show you here at the new factory. We have rows and rows, 28 aisles like this for these guys. Wow. We got everything moved. We have production down at that end. We tested this earlier.
Hold it. Stop. Hang on. I thought you were going out of business. This thing looks massive. You look bigger than Walmart. No, what is happening here? They told me you're going out of business. Mike Lindell's bankrupt. You're broke. You can't get product. Nobody give you product. This thing looks magnificent, sir.
It is huge, and it is so awesome. My employees were able to get moved in here, and they did all this. They built all the racking, everything we did ourselves, and we're not going anywhere. We're still standing, and I'll tell you, Steve, they just keep that My Pill is the most attacked company in history. There's no company even close. Operation Arctic Frost, we found out that our own government came at us in 2022, 23, and 24. But I was interviewed here in Minnesota as running for governor, and they said, first thing, well, isn't My Pillow bankrupt? They said, who told you that? You're a horrible journalist. And this was on CBS. And then they said, Mike, but they just kept asking me questions that weren't true. And now, Steve, they're banning me as running for governor. I don't get to talk in the debates that go all around Minnesota next week. And because I won't honor the endorsement, because right now I'm polling number one with the Republicans of Minnesota. So it's just a continuous attack. They don't want somebody.
Hang on. You've been winning all the straw polls. Right, You're up in the polls. You're winning all the debates. You're saying you're not going to debate because let me give you some guidance here. The company looks like it's running better than ever now that you're out running for governor. Your son and the team behind. They say, no, Dad, go do the debates. We're gonna build. I mean, this thing's the Taj Mahal. Why are you not? What's it about this endorsement? This kind of conference endorsement. What's going on? Why are you not out there?
This is the GOP endorsement, and which we get here in a week and a half. That it's the end of May, and then our primaries in August. But we did a poll. There was many polls have come out with the people, and I'm polling number one, and in a lot of these straw polls. But since I won't honor the endorsement, means that that what they want you to do is you honor the endorsement, and I wowould quit running if they pick someone else. These delegates pick someone else, and I'm not going to do that. I went through that when I ran for RNC chair, and I doubled Ronna McDaniel and Harmeet Dillon the night before in a national poll. We have one shot to win this. And it's with me going all the way to the primary and winning the primary and then beating Amy Klobuchar in the general. We've got an amazing plan. We split Minnesota into 67 Senate districts, teams in every district. We're putting out 26,000 signs. One thing I do, Steve, I know a little marketing. So as you see, they've done great here at My Pillow.
Hang on. Now that I see how big this thing is, we want some deals. Warren Posse's blowing up right now. Give us a deal of a lifetime. So I want when deals collide. Give us that.
Hey, okay. Here's what we're going to do today. It's our factory sale, but we're also doing our Memorial Day mattress sale. These are 4 specials that are colliding, 4 deals colliding. So you have the mattresses made in the USA, free shipping on anything you buy today on your entire order. You have a 6-month money-back guarantee, 10-year warranty, best mattresses and mattress toppers you will ever sleep on. Some of them as low as $299. And then also, if you go to Costco.com/war room. Now you're going to see deals that collide. Our factory outlet sale we're having there with all the clothing, we're closing out the clothing line. In fact, we have another semi that was full of that. We didn't realize. You guys, that's discounted down to as low as $9 for a set of pajamas. I mean, we're closing out that whole line. Then you have the mega sale you see in the middle there where the My Pillows are $14.98. The second annual mega sale. So that's colliding. You've got slippers. You got the slippers. We still have some of them left. $39.98 exclusive to the War Room Posse. You got the My Crosses where you're saving $80. Basically, this is it, everybody. It's the biggest celebration of My Pillow. We're still standing. That promo code War Room is the best discounts of any promo code in the nation. 800-873-1062. 800-873-1062. Remember, those are my employees too. Employee-owned company, and we're still here for the War Room. You guys have had our back.
Thank you, brother. We'll see you this afternoon. Great job. Tell the team magnificent. Place looks incredible. What a warrior. What a fighter. What a good man. He's a good man.
He is a good man, and so are the people at My Pillow. Look how nice the warehouse looks. Nice and clean. I love it. As always, you can continue to support Mike and the great workers there at My Pillow. As he just mentioned, you can go to mypillow.com. You can also use the promo code Vanessa for extra savings. Make sure you do some shopping this weekend. Lots of good deals to be had. Memorial Weekend is upon us. A weekend to pay tribute to Americans' fallen heroes. We talked to singer-songwriter Michael Peterson with new patriotic music coming out just
He came home
Memorial
to
Day.
Tennessee,
That's next.
young man at the end of 45.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice, speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including Lindell TV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to Lindell TV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, My Pillow mattresses and My Pillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free.
Some good patriotic music is being released tomorrow, just in time for Memorial Day. Country music singer, songwriter Michael Peterson is here with us this morning. Michael, so good to have you on. You know, I love country music, and I obviously love our country. Add the two together, it's the perfect recipe for the songs that you put out. Tell us more about your two new albums coming out.
Well, about 15 years ago, my life took a hard left turn, as our lives sometimes do. And I ended up stepping away from the spotlight, but I didn't quit making music. So over those 15 years, I've made a number of albums, and the only people who ever heard those albums were people who came to my shows. So finally, those albums were picked up by Star Vista, and they are being distributed and released tomorrow for the first time digitally across all digital streaming platforms. And one of those albums is an album called We Are Veterans, which contains songs that were born from, nearly 500 shows that I did for veterans and active duty military all over the world. And I decided to kind of put the favorite songs of theirs onto an album that's called We Are Veterans. And the first single from that is the video that you were showing a little bit ago. It's a song called The Old Army Hat.
And let's take a listen to the Old Army Hat. Listen in, just so viewers can get an idea of what kind of music you put out there.
Well, he came home to Tennessee, young man at the end of 45. Only one of 7 men in his platoon who made it back alive. He must have seen some tough things, but he never said too much about all that.
Michael, why is it so important to you to honor our country, our military, and our veterans?
Well, I think there's two things that occur to me when you ask me that question. One is, I guess because I'm born American and I was raised here, that there's hardly a moment that goes by when I hear the Pledge of Allegiance or hear the national anthem that it doesn't choke me up and really bring a certain feeling, almost bring a tear to my eye. That's something that I can't quite explain. But the other part of it is that my wife is a retired U.S. Army colonel, and she spent 30 years in the Army. She was injured at the Pentagon on 9/11, ended up with post-traumatic stress. And on the heels of that, she dedicated her time and her life and her service to helping empower other service members who had experienced post-traumatic stress to find non-pharmaceutical solutions to dealing with their life after having trauma. And so I've traveled all over the world with her. Like I said, I've been 11 tours, Korea, Afghanistan, Iraq, probably 250 shows in the desert for deployed servicemen. When you do that, it just becomes a part of you because you see the sacrifice that's made, and you see the commitment, and you see the integrity and the grit of these service members and their families, military families, children without their parents around. I mean, it just moves my heart.
Well, first, tell your wife from all of us here at Lindell TV, thank you for your service.
I will.
I hate to hear that she was injured in 9/11, but good to know that she's doing well and helping other veterans as well. Second, doesn't it make your heart, like you just mentioned, it has to make you feel so good to know that when you go overseas and you're with these veterans and the people who are serving away from their families for our country, and to come home, to know that you spent some time with them and to know that you brightened up their day just a little bit just by being there.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And, something else that I think is something that needs to be said more, and that is, especially in the area of entrepreneurship, with Mike Lindell being such a great leading entrepreneur, they've done these studies and they found that military veterans are statistically much more successful as entrepreneurs than people who didn't serve in the military. So sometimes we have a lot of focus on wounded veterans, and that's important. But most of the veterans who come back are well and whole and ready to make a huge difference in our economy, in our nation, in our leadership. So it's inspiring to be around these men and women. They're so strong and so resilient.
Yes, absolutely. So again, you're honoring them on the perfect weekend too, Memorial Weekend. Two new albums coming out tomorrow. Tell us about where people can find your songs when they're released.
Sure. You can find me at michaelpetersonmusic.com. You find all the information you want there. You can also, find it on all of your digital streaming platforms, whether that's Spotify or YouTube. You can see the video on YouTube coming out. You can find me on Spotify. This is Michael Peterson Music page on Spotify. And you can find my wife's website because she does pro bono coaching and training for people dealing with post-traumatic stress. Her website is thisablevet, THIS ablevet.com, or Jill, or her email is also jill@thisablevet.com. But so if you know somebody that's dealing with post-traumatic stress, you need some resources, my wife is an expert at that, and together we're trying to make a difference.
And you are. And you're doing it in so many different ways. And we are so appreciative for people like you through your music. I'm looking at your website right now. You've done 11 troop tours. How amazing. So thank you for everything you've done. Over 500 performances worldwide for active duty U.S. military. You're a busy man. I don't know how you do it. So,
you get up every day and you put one foot in front of the other, and you thank God for the opportunity to serve.
yes, and we are glad that you're doing that. Your wife as well. Thanks for stopping by today. One more time, two new
Thank you.
albums, patriotic, good country music coming out tomorrow. One more time, tell people where they can find your music.
michaelpetersonmusic.com or on any digital streaming platform, specifically Spotify and YouTube.
I love it. Good to hear it. Can't wait for it to come out tomorrow. I'm actually taking some time off with family, so I'm going to make sure that I am on Spotify downloading your music tomorrow. Michael, so good to have you on the show today. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks. Also, American Country Network, the video is going to be on there as well. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Yes, thank you. Another salute to our military, to our graduates. President Trump addressing graduates at the United States Coast Guard Academy. We'll take you there when we come back.
Talk is cheap when it comes to saving our country. We're not just any cell phone service provider. We're Patriot Mobile. It's not enough to simply talk about values. We live them. Defending life, protecting our First and Second Amendments, and celebrating our military and first responder heroes. We're boots on the ground making a difference. We're America's only Christian conservative wireless provider with nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks and 100% U.S.-based customer service. Join Patriot Mobile today and make an impact every time you use your cell phone.
America's founders warned that without knowledge and virtue, no nation can remain free. Yet through the steady infiltration of Marxist ideology, we have been stripped of both, and we are no longer a moral and educated people. To save America, we must spark nothing less than a national renaissance. That's why you need Freedom Talk Magazine, the journal of truth and virtue. We cultivate enlightened thinking and principled living, offering unique insights into the issues and remarkable people defining our world. Sign up today for your free subscription to Freedom Talk Magazine and join the new American Renaissance.
Well, hello, everyone. Well, I'm turning 65, and let me tell you, Medicare has me confused. All the junk mail and the robocalls and everything else, it honestly feels like they rigged the system just to confuse us. Well, that's why I partnered and working with Chapter. They're independent, and they don't work for big insurance. They work for us. In fact, they're the only advisor that compares every single plan nationwide to find what actually fits your needs. If you're on the right plan, they tell you. If you're not, they're going to help you switch. And it's completely free. Just last year, seniors saved about $1,100 by finding a better plan with Chapter. So call Chapter at 234-LINDALE or go to askchapter.org/Lindell. Mike Lindell here. The radical left and the deep state aren't just coming for our freedoms, they're coming after our money too. For years, they've been destroying our economy from the inside out with reckless spending, open borders, woke policies that crush our businesses, and now they've left us with an inflation disaster that's wiping out the savings of our hardworking families. They don't want us to be independent. They want us to be dependent on the government. Well, that's not going to happen on my watch. That's why I partner with American Independence Gold. It's a veteran-owned company that's helping patriotic Americans fight back by protecting our savings with real physical gold and silver. And right now, they're giving away up to $15,000 in free silver and a free gold IRA kit. A portion of all the profits go to 9/11 first responders and veterans at the Tunnels to Towers Foundation. The deep state can't touch your gold, so visit MikeLindellGold.com or call 844-714-4653 right now. That's MikeLindellGold.com. Take back control. You know, most people think water's just about filtration, but in reality, it's about balance. What gets removed, what gets left behind, and how the water actually behaves once you drink it. Well, many traditional systems focus on one thing, removal. Reverse osmosis, for example, strips water down completely. It may sound ideal, but it removes minerals that our bodies need. The Century Wellness System was designed with a different philosophy. It removes common contaminants like chlorine, fluoride, and PFAS, while restoring key minerals like magnesium and improving alkalinity. It also does all this without tanks and without wastewater, and without requiring a complicated installation. It installs in about 15 minutes under your sink, so instead of overcorrecting, it brings your water back into balance. Please visit CenturyH2O.com and use promo code Lindell for 10% off your next purchase.
Summertime is here. School is out for the summer. Kids are vacationing for about 3 months. And what they do with their time is very important. What parents need to watch is their screen time. HHS is warning on limiting screen time at home and also in classrooms.
Iowa is leading the nation by taking decisive action to protect children's health, including limiting excessive classroom screen time. Leadership is especially important today as HHS releases the Surgeon General's warning on harms of screen use, a new advisory and toolkit that gives parents, schools, and communities practical tools to better protect their children and adolescents from growing harms of excessive screen exposures.
Yeah, too much screen time can lead to psychological and behavioral problems. HHS has urged schools to limit time in the classroom, and they have. Already, they're seeing positive results.
A few weeks ago, the New York Times published a story that said the jury is still out on whether limiting cell phone use in schools is actually benefiting the kids. And first thing when I read that headline and started the article was, did telecom pay for this? Because we've been to innumerable schools now, and we heard the same thing that we heard here today, which is that the disciplinary problems and disciplinary referrals dropped dramatically, that social interactions improve, that we're for the first time in years hearing loud lunchrooms, which is a good thing, that grades and academic performance goes up, and they came equipped with the data.
So what can you do? You can sign up for summer reading programs. Those are starting up right now. Summer camps are always a great idea. Those are all over the country. Every city has them. Outside play. We can go back to the old school ways. Family game nights. Those are always fun. Family movie nights. Kids off their screens, off their cell phones. Too much time can be harmful. All right, let's take a look now to see how the markets are doing, how they're opening today, looking at opening bell numbers from MarketWatch.com. Live look right here at the Dow, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, all down at this hour. NVIDIA posted Strong earnings yesterday, which moved the markets up, but investors were looking for even bigger upside after the AI rally. Oil prices back over $100 today after renewed Middle East concerns, so we're keeping an eye on that. We're also watching Treasury yields climbing yet again, adding pressure to tech stocks and growth names. Investors are also watching retail earnings from companies like Walmart for clues on consumer spending. So a lot going on Wall Street this week. We're still keeping an eye out on everything we just mentioned, but right now the Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ all showing a decline on this Thursday. Now to a look at your news to go. A quick glimpse of other news headlines we're following today. Vanessa Trump, the ex-wife of Donald Trump Jr., has announced that she has been diagnosed with breast cancer. Vanessa shared the news in an Instagram post you're seeing right here, saying she is working closely with a team of doctors on a plan to battle the disease and how to move forward. No stage of cancer was posted. Vanessa and Donald Trump Jr. share 5 kids together, and of course, we wish her a full and speedy recovery. The president giving the commencement address at the United States Coast Guard Academy graduation, speaking to the graduates on how important their role is to America.
You're America's first defenders. You are America's first responders. You are the living standard bearers of America's first fleet. As your commander-in-chief, I could not be prouder of the great class of 2026. Congratulations. Congratulations. Amazing. And I'd have no doubt to say, and just like those Coast Guard legends who came before you, you will always put America first. We put America first now.
Always put America first. The president is back at the White House today. He will make an announcement at 11 o'clock this morning with the administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency. That's 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern, so be looking for that announcement. Also in Washington today, the CPAC Women's Summit is the first annual event being held on Capitol Hill. We're really excited about this one. A lot of great speakers, a long line of speakers today, including Harmeet Dillon, Representative Kat Kammick, Congresswoman Lisa McClain, and of course, Mercedes Schlapp. There is the list on your screen. There are going to be so many powerful, empowering women at this conference. Again, it's their inaugural conference, the first one, and we hope it's a huge success. A lot of great ladies there on the list. You can find coverage here on Lindell TV. We will air it live throughout the day. And of course, for more news headlines, you can always log on to lindelltv.com, and you can always download the Lindell TV app. It's free in your app store. Now to our Bible verse of the day. Coming from the book of Philippians, the Bible says this: "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpass all comprehension, will guard your hearts and your minds in Jesus Christ." And this one's good. I love that first saying, be anxious for nothing. Always trust the Lord. And that'll do it for us here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. We leave you today with some beautiful sights from California. Have a great day.
When you read one news source, you get one side. When you read two sources, you get an argument. Read 40 sources, and you get the truth. LindellReport.com, the only place you ever need to visit for your news. From Lindell TV, over 40 trusted outlets in one place. No editorial gatekeepers, no hidden bias. Just the day's news. Balanced, unfiltered, ready when you are. Whether you lean left, right, or straight down the middle, this is where you start your day. One click, one feed, one truth. The decision is yours. LindellReport.com. The news you need, the balance you deserve.
Welcome to Vocal, the free speech social app that gives you a platform to amplify your voice. Speak freely, connect boldly, and be part of a growing movement for truth, faith, and freedom. Want to know what's happening right now? The Now Playing feature shows you exactly who's live and what's streaming in real time. Check out the show's feed, a non-stop lineup including Lindell TV News 24/7, shows and on-demand programming all in one place. Connect with your favorite host and never miss a show. Explore the featured page for quick access to Lindell TV's top shows. Follow your favorites and watch their newest content flow right into your feed. And when they go live on Vocal, you can join the live chat and be part of the action. Ask questions, share your thoughts, even help shape future shows. Stay informed on issues around securing our elections by following your state's Cause of America account. Join a group and connect on a deeper level, from faith and freedom to the future of our nation. Go to vocal.com or download the app today and be a part of the mission to save our country.
It's finally here, our second annual mega sale. This sale only comes around once a year, so take advantage of the best offers ever while you can. For example, save 50% on our Giza Dream bed sheets, as low as $29.98. And for the first time ever on TV, MyPillow mattresses and MyPillow mattress toppers, as low as $99.98. And you save 50% on our Lux Pure 6-piece towel sets, regular $69.98. Now only $39.98. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, regular $49.98, on sale for $17.98. Wait on it, mega sale, only $14.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our second annual mega sale. But wait, there's more. To make the mega sale even more special, when you order right now, your order's going to ship absolutely free. Too many pharmacies and insurance companies are blocking the medications that actually work. That's why I recommend All Family Pharmacy. They give you access to treatments like ivermectin now, starting at just $2 a capsule. They also have methylene blue, hydroxychloroquine, and so much more. They're helping you stay prepared, and they've dropped their prices by 25%. Also use promo code Lindell10, you save even more. Go to allfamilypharmacy.com/Lindell. Use promo code Lindell10 and get the medicine you need.
Talk is cheap.